It is goddamn bloody time to build a proper village. I've built plenty already in my creative world here, but this time around, I'm dedicating 10 hours of my life to this build to create the village I've always wanted. Alright, so here we are in my creative world, which is coming along very nicely, but man, this city I have planned is going to blow everything here out of the water, quite literally. And yeah, so you might be wondering what actually would be the type of village that I've always wanted, and I've always had an affinity for everything docks, fishing villages, and ocean-based builds. So I'm going to combine all of that together and create the ultimate ocean city. Now, as for the inspiration for this village slash city, my wife actually sent me 2 pictures from this Facebook ad that she got, and she thought it would be a cool idea for me to kind of recreate, I guess. And so that's going to be my idea. I want to have a big lighthouse right in the center, and I want to have a circular kind of fishing village around that. I don't know how big this is going to end up. Yeah, we're going to be going kind of crazy, I think. And yeah, so if it wasn't obvious, this is kind of the area that I'm thinking of adding it. I want it to be kind of close by everything else I've made in this world. So I'm thinking over here is going to be quite nice. And so, well, getting straight stuck bloody into it. Let's go ahead and open up Axiom here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is grab out the old shape tool. We're gonna get a sphere. Let's place him down right here. And well, this is when we need to decide what we actually want to make our village out of, the ground at least. Now I'm thinking oak planks is gonna be just the best. And then we'll probably use primarily darker blocks for the buildings, like spruce and dark oak. I think that's gonna be the best bloody course of action there. So we've got oak slabs. We can set it over here to top so that it's gonna be on the top half of the, the thing. We're also over here going to click on separate X, Y, and Z. We're going to make the Y 1 so that it's basically a circle instead of a sphere now. Then we can scale up these bad boys here, and that's how we're going to get our kind of starting platform with the lighthouse. And so I'm just going to kind of place it here for now. We can obviously just very easily move all of this around with Axiom after the fact, so I'm not too worried about positioning. So I think that's a pretty good size for the kind of first, the main circle. Let's go ahead and paste that bad boy in. And as for kind of the supports, we're probably just going to do some oak kind of log pillar support thingy majigs all around this. And so the easiest way to do that is I'm just going to build one. I'm just going to stack this all the way down, and then we can go ahead and clone this by just selecting the whole thing. And now we can essentially just put this wherever the hell we want. And there we go. We can just do something like that. And then we can just go ahead and actually clone all of these now to make the process even quicker, and just simply kind of paste them around the entire thing like this. Nice and quick and bloody easily. And then we have our kind of starting platform, the base of it at least. And yeah, dude, so on here, I'm wanting to get a big stinking lighthouse. And honestly, okay, I just got a really cool idea. Honestly, how cool would it be for this to actually be on a big rock here like this? And then this platform is kind of surrounding this rock, which has our lighthouse on it. Okay, bro, I'm kind of cooking here. I don't know what's going on there, but I think that's really cool. So let's flatten this out a bit more, so we got a bit more space to work with. We're also, of course, going to want to texture this rock. We don't want just bloody plain old frickin' stone. And so for that, we can just go ahead and use world edit here. We can go replace near 20 stone. And I'm thinking stone andesite and stone bricks is going to be a perfect combination. Bang, there it is. Now I also think I'll probably want to add some slabs and stuff into this, but I think I'll just build out the lighthouse first, because I don't really know where I want the entrance and stuff to be just yet. Also, I want this to be less kind of smooth as a rock, so I'm thinking of removing all of these just so it's more of I don't know, it's almost like a cliff kind of side on each side. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Something like that. That's looking a bit cooler. All right, and well, now what I'm going to do is, well, pretty much just design a big old lighthouse. I have made one over here before. So honestly, if we wanted to save time, we could copy this over, which I might just do to see how it looks. And we can, of course, just kind of change it up a little bit if we want to. Call me bloody lazy here, mate. But what I think I'm actually doing here is some 200 IQ time saving stuff, okay? Let's see how well this fits right here. Oh my god, that's looking pretty good already. You're kidding me with that. That fits on bloody well perfect. Look at that. That's as good as it gets right there. I'm sorry, but we're using that, okay? At least we can spend more time on the village around it, okay? So I want to make heaps of different house types. Just I just want to go absolutely ballistic with it. But what we can do is actually get this kind of fitting the vibe of the rest of the village. I'm going to change all of this oak to dark oak. I'm going to spruce up these windows a little bit as well. Well, I'm going to dark oak them up a little bit more, actually. And so I'm just going to quickly get that done as a bit of a time lapse. Let's get to it. All right, so first up was replacing all the wood accents on the lighthouse with of dark oak to match the future buildings in the city, and honestly, I think this looks way nicer than it did before. I also redesigned the staircase to be accessible on 2 sides, and began adding heaps of details around the lighthouse, as well as adding stairs and slabs to the rock to smoothen it out a bit. Alright, well I forgot to record it in the time lapse, but I also kind of made this top area a bit more grand. I just kind of stretched it, made it a bit taller, added some like more railings around, and also this kind of ring of trapdoors. I think it turned out pretty sweet. And yeah, dude, that is our town center all done there. That is looking freaking sweet, man. And so what that means now is it is time to start actually building out the rest of the village here. And so I essentially want to have like big kind of rings around this. I don't know if that's how I want to keep going with it, just more and more rings. I feel like it's going to be a little bit bland. So I don't know. I might do like 1 or 2 rings and then we'll think of something different to do. I also need to think of how to do these rings. I'm thinking with the shape tool, there's actually a torus, which is, yeah, if I paste this down, there you go. Look at that. That's exactly how we're going to do it, okay? The only problem, okay, let's separate the height and the whatever the V is. There we go. So that's the size of the hole, and then that's the thing. Okay, and then we got the X and the Y. Okay, that's exactly what we want. Okay, so let's try and put this right in the middle, which might be kind of hard to find. Okay, I've just found the middle. That is perfect there. So now what we're going to do is increase the size of this even more. So yeah, something like that is pretty much what I'm wanting there. Let's go ahead and of course change this over to our oak slablingtons. And yeah, dude, I think that is pretty much exactly what I want for our first little ring there. So let's go ahead and paste that in, and that is beautiful. Look at that. Dude, you know how hard that would have been to make without the shape tool? That's just crazy, dude. That's so good. Right, well, we do of course want a bridge on each side, so I'm just gonna use the stack tool to connect a bit of a basic bridge up on each side like this. Nice and quick and easy like that. That is looking awesome, dude. Hell yes. All right, well, what that now means is it is time to start building some house designs. And I think what's actually going to look quite cool is actually raising up all of these kind of areas up a block. Gonna be a bit of a pain to do. I don't know if it's really even worth how much hassle this is gonna be, but I feel like just raising it up 1 block, just for a little bit of verticality difference, I feel might be cool. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be a pain in the ass to do. Yeah, and then we can have like a step up to it on each side. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna look kind of cool. Okay, dude, there is all 4 platforms raised. I've also added a couple of little pillars. Dude, this is looking so cool already. That's actually crazy. Well, it is now time to start building and designing some freaking houses, man. So we're going to be cracking out the dark oak because I feel like it's just going to contrast very nicely to the surrounding oak. And it's also going to kind of match our little reference picture there. I really love all those yellow lights in that picture too. I got that added into our lighthouse, kind of in the background of all of those windows there, but I definitely think I'm going to be doing that with the houses too. I really do want to take a look at this, you know, when we've finished everything. I want to see it all at nighttime while it's raining. Oh my God, it's going to look so cozy, dude. So yeah, this is where we need to figure out our block palette as well, especially for the roof. I'm not exactly sure what to do for the roof, but for the main house, I'm thinking like textured stripped dark oak and dark oak planks is going to be a very nice combination there. Maybe not actually. Those are 2 very different kind of colors, eh? I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe, I don't really know what works well with stripped dark oak logs. Yeah, see, that's a bit weird. That spruce works really well together, but dark oak, they're very different colors. So we might have to find a different block to use. Give me a second. All right, so I actually just went ahead and quickly updated Axiom. So now we have access to this color picker tool, which is actually going to really help us trying to find blocks that match here. So we can go ahead and place any block kind of in this color picker tool, and it's going to show us the next kind of closest ones that we can use. So if we put in some dark oak planks, we can see that dark oak logs are kind of the closest, and then spruce wood as well. So we could try that to see how it looks. I don't think it's gonna work very well. Actually, we need to replace them. It's not too bad, but yeah, that log texture is too close to the other one, and it just looks weird. So let's try color picking this style. We also have brown terracotta, which could work well as well. And yeah, that's kind of our 2 best options there. So let's just see how brown terracotta looks. That's actually pretty good. I like that. That actually looks really nice. And then we can try our cartography. Yeah, okay, that's just... that is not going to work whatsoever. What the hell? I mean, I think if we put it on like a specific side, it might look better, but yeah, see, that side there would work well with planks, actually. So it's like planks, but the different way. But yeah, that's just going to be too hard to work with. Honestly, I think that right there, our brown terracotta and our stripped dark oak logs works freaking perfectly. So I think that is our wall blocks confirmed. Now, as for the roof, we need to figure that out still. And honestly, I'm thinking end stone for the trim of the roof is gonna look really nice. I don't know, yeah, since doing that house video, the 100 houses, I have been thoroughly enjoying kind of a white trim and then a dark body of the roof. It's just really nice contrast, although I hope it's gonna kind of stand out against the oak background here. So we're just gonna have to kind of see. We might have to go for something a little bit darker in tone, but yeah, we'll see how this looks. Let's get all of the trims added along there, and then we need to figure out what we want to actually use for the main body of the roof. I feel like dark oak is, I don't know. It can work. It's a safe kind of option there. It does actually look quite different from the below blocks as well. It's like a tad bit lighter. So honestly, that could be the block we go with there. I do want to take a look with the ortho camera mod and just see how that looks. And yeah, honestly, that is quite nice. I do like the end stone. It does actually stand out quite nicely from the oak once we're kind of far away there. And that's kind of what I'm wanting. So yeah, honestly, I think that is our block palette figured out there. Honestly, this house is very basic. I think I will have to kind of make this cooler. We're gonna have to make some diagonal houses on this spot too, most likely. And yeah, so that's gonna be quite annoying to build, but I think it is time to get stuck into it. I'm just gonna get to freaking decorating and adding houses to this entire first ring. So let's get to a bit of a time lapse right now. All right, dude, so honestly, all I did was build 3 houses on each quarter with a diagonal one in the middle of each and regular houses on the sides. My goal was to have each house look pretty different from the last, so I spent extra time here building a brand new design for each and every one. I built plenty with big open sections on the sides, which were the perfect places to add plenty of details. I built some in a sort of townhouse style with multiple rooms to one house, and plenty job site houses like blacksmiths, storage warehouses, and smelteries. I also made sure to keep each house consistent in style, always adding dark oak signs to the walls for a bit of depth, and getting those shroom lights added to the windows on illegible houses. Alright dude, and there it is. There is the first ring of the village. Not completed yet actually, we still have a lot of details and stuff to add, but honestly, just take a look at this so far. Like, how cool does that look? I don't know, like, I think the block palette is honestly carrying the whole thing here. Like, just those cream colored trims look so awesome, dude. But man, am I excited to get expanding this thing. Holy crap. Also, I'm thinking these little poles here, I need to change these to something a bit more contrastifying, you know what I'm saying? So I think what we can do, because these, I'm pretty sure these are the only oak logs I have in the entire area. So we can do a replace near like freaking 100 oak log, and I'm thinking spruce logs are gonna look a lot better. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, already, that looks freaking sweet, man. That looks way better. They just stand out a little bit more. Yeah, that looks awesome. So yeah, obviously, between all of these houses, there's just kind of nothing. There's nothing there, okay? Also, our main ring here has nothing on it either. So I think it is time to do a second pass throughout this whole thing, add in some details, of course. I'm thinking in these like kind of bigger gaps here, we've got like a decent gap there. We've got another one over here. And here too, we might add some trees. I might make some custom trees to add in these little gaps. And we're just gonna get a whole bunch of details added throughout all of this first area. So let's go to another bit of a quick time lapse right now. Okay, so the first course of action was to design a bit of a slender custom tree design so that it could fit between a bunch of houses. And with that done, I got to pasting it all around the place as well as getting other various details added. I felt a market stall would be a cool detail to add to the center area, so I built one up and continued adding more details everywhere like barrels, chests, campfires, pots, lanterns, boats, and whatever else I could freaking think of, mate. Alright, dude, and here is the first ring and the center all done. Alright, we've got plenty of details scattered around throughout the place, plenty of different house designs. Honestly, I think this first little area turned out pretty freaking sweet, honestly. I really love the ring kind of idea, and I think it is time to expand further upon that by adding a secondary ring around this bad boy with even more crap, okay? So heading back into the old Axiom mod, we're once again going to grab out our shape tool with the torus here. We're going to paste it right in the middle. Then once again, we're going to just scale the crap out of this thing, okay? Then we're going to increase this like diameter H thingamajig, and we actually need to make this a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, that is looking crazy. All right, now let's go ahead and change this to our oak slabs and go ahead and paste that bad boy in. Oh yeah, look at that. The village is expanding. It is time to get our bridges extended all the way over to this new area. I've just realized it is actually 1 block higher than everything else. Wow, that is quite the pain in the ass, isn't it? Actually, that does kind of work out. If we want to do like a similar to thing with what we've done here, that actually saves us a whole stinking crap load of time. So we can just do that and then just kind of, you know, stack this all the way down, and then we can clone this and put it, you know, right there. Bang. Perfect. Then we can just go ahead and clone this entire section and just kind of add this on every kind of side. All right, now taking a look back at our reference, we can see like some of these circles aren't actually just full circles, like they have kind of cut off segments. And I think I want to start incorporating that on this secondary ring here. So I think the easiest way to do that is going to be with the path tool. I think if we go ahead and set this to air, we can kind of use it to cut sections out. And so we can just draw to 2 points like that, maybe expand the radius to like 5 and just kind of hope that that works. Oh, yes, it does. Okay, beautiful. Maybe 5 is a bit too much. Let's try 4. Oh yeah, see, that is going to work pretty well there. Although it has kind of like rounded off that corner, which I don't really want. So we can probably extend these points a little bit further than like the thingamajig, and then there we go. We got something like that. It's still gonna need a little bit of kind of hand fixing up, I think. It's a little bit wackadoodle, but yeah, that is essentially what I'm wanting. And we can have like little mini bridges connecting them, or just leave them completely unconnected if we want to. And I feel like that's just gonna add a little bit more kind of visual interest to the village city thing. And maybe we could even add some like kind of bigger sections like this. Yes, that's gonna be cool. And then maybe on this one, we could add like 2 separations like this and have like a floating one like that will add like a bridge to maybe there or something. All right, so there we go. That is our next layout for the secondary ring. Here's a look with the ortho camera mod so far. Yes, this is gonna turn out so cool, dude. Like that just looks like, I don't know, that just looks awesome. Honestly, possibly the coolest village I've built, and it's not even freaking done, man. Like, this was the previous kind of village that I always wanted, but honestly, it did turn out really cool. Like, I enjoyed having the 2 different kind of sides, but in the end, I don't know. It just didn't turn out to be the village I always wanted, okay? So now I think this one is going to be, until I think of something even cooler than this design, man. All right, and so I think it is now pretty much time to start adding houses onto this secondary ring. So let's get to it. All right, so I ended up actually changing those little standalone islands into stone brick harbors of sorts that extend all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, and these would end up being warehouses of sorts. So on this first one, I built out a crane design and added plenty of other details, and with that section done, I simply went around adding support pillars to every new platform. I then continued by filling out the rest of all the spaces with various houses we'd already built to save time, of course. We're limited to 10 hours, which is still quite a lot of time, but it was steadily running out, so I employed as many time-saving measures as I could. Alright dude, and here is a look at the new and improved village with those expansions all done. Man, this thing is coming along very nicely. Here's a look with the ortho camera graphicus modicus, and holy crap, my brother, it's looking awesome. Now, the next course of action, of course, okay, we're gonna be adding another ring. Who could have bloody thunk it? Now, the only problem now is that we kind of have these like channels, and I don't know if I really want to be like blocking them with our ring. So yeah, I don't know. I need to kind of plan with my expansion here. But what we can do, once again, grab out the goddamn shape tool, get our torus slapped in right into the middle like so, and we're going to pretty much just go kind of crazy with this. Yeah, that's definitely too crazy. Holy crap. Okay, that is a little bit more like it. That's looking pretty good there. Right, and so yeah, once again, we're going to paste this bad boy in. Oh my god, dude, this thing is getting huge. We're gonna have to add a lot of houses to this next section, man. That's insane. I feel like I do want to employ more of these kind of like harbors throughout as well. But of course, the first thing we need to do is extend the old main kind of bridges across to these new areas, of course. So give me a minute. I'm gonna get all of this sorted and I'll be right back. Oh, look at that thing. Honestly, that looks so cool. Oh my god, that's sticking out 1 block extra. Look at that. What the hell's going on there? Get rid of it. That looks awesome, like being completely filled in. I don't know how I feel about kind of breaking that up again. I mean, we're gonna have to, or else these little sections aren't really gonna make sense. It's meant to be for like boats to get through. So I think, yeah, it's definitely gonna make more sense to add these little cutouts. So we'll add these in line with our existing ones and just see how it looks. So just give me a second. Oh, all right, dude. That is actually looking pretty cool. I'm honestly pretty happy with that. And honestly, I think this is going to be the final ring. We are steadily running out of time. And dude, honestly, I think if we go bigger with this, it's just gonna look kind of ridiculous. Like the size of the lighthouse lighthouse here is kind of perfectly scaled to the size of the city, I feel. And if we go an extra ring, this lighthouse is just gonna look ridiculously small in comparison, I feel. And yeah, I've only got like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours left, which is probably how long it's gonna take to do this outer ring. We might even have to go overtime a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, dude, I do need to spend some time kind of thinking about how I'm gonna fill these out, because I feel if I just add more houses, I mean, it's of course gonna look good, but I wanna do, I don't know, I wanna make it more unique, even though this is a pretty unique freaking village, man. Like, I really loved incorporating these little harbor designs on some of these, and I do wanna repeat that, but I don't know, I wanna do something different. I'm just not entirely sure what. So give me a moment, I'm gonna have a little think about it. Okay. I now know exactly what I'm doing. I've taken this screenshot here that you're looking at. Well, it's not actually a screenshot. It's just, you know, me standing here. But I've taken the screenshot. I've drawn on every little section on Photoshop and what I'm going to do. I'm not going to reveal, okay, because I'm going to, you know, we're just going to build it as we go. But man, I've got some big plans. Every section is going to be something different because, you know, right in the middle here, it kind of, you know, it kind of makes sense. We've got all of the, like, all right, it's time to settle down. So we've got all of the housing kind of in the middle here. And I'm thinking on the outside, we have the more commercial stuff. We have the arrival points. We've got, you know, maybe a little bit more housing here and there, but we've got boat parking, markets, stuff like that. Oh my God, dude, I'm super excited to get this frickin' final ring fully fledged, filled out, you frickin' frickhead, okay? Well, the first thing I'm gonna have to do is add a bunch. Oh my God, we're gonna have to add so many of these pillars all around the place. This is gonna take absolutely forever. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get to doing this first in the time lapse, and then we will get started adding in a bunch of stuff to all of these sections. So let's get stinking to it. All right, so first course of action was to, of course, get all the support pillars added around the entire area. Now, as for the first section, I decided on having it as an arrival area that leads into a custom / arrival tower / guard tower thingamajig. I used this image here as my inspiration because it was kind of hard designing it on my own, but I think it turned out pretty cool. As for the rest of the area, I added plenty of arrival docks as well as a queue to wait in and plenty of various goods strewn about. I added a bridge over to this next area, which was to be a market district. I built out a regular and diagonal market design of which I pasted everywhere, making sure to change the colors. I felt a couple houses were in order next, so I pasted in a couple in this small section here. And following that, I next wanted to add a boat parking area. I had to lower this entire platform so it was way easier to actually access the boats, of which I created a few different designs for. After sprinkling in plenty of details, I next started on the town's source of food, a big old crop farm filled with carrots and wheat. After that, I added another arrival point, followed by another housing district with a bunch of different designs, and following that, another boat parking area. And now for our final section, I wanted to create essentially the town's main storage warehouse, a giant diagonal building with plenty of space for storing everything. All right, dude, and there it is. That is the completed village. We did end up going over the 10-hour limit by about 30 minutes, but just don't worry about it. We're just gonna let it slide. But yeah, man, I am super happy with everything we managed to add in. I especially really do like these kind of arrival points with our check-in kind of customs building, the little queue and the arrival points. We got heaps of just random storage and stuff. My throat is freaking killing me at the moment, so I'm gonna, you know, just be brief with this, but you know, there's everything. Here is one final overview of the entire area. Oh my God, dude, that is looking awesome. And yeah, dude, so as always, if you want to download this entire world with every single creation in it, including this brand spanking new one, check out my Patreon as the download will be up over there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh my God, dude, I completely forgot. We gotta look at this thing at night. Holy crap, dude, does this look cozy as hell, my brother. Also, with the rain on too, oh my God, this is insanely nice. What the hell? Okay, that is actually the end of the video. Catch you later, mate.